Welcome back to the channel, guys. I know it's been a while, but like I say, with us heading into winter here, there's really not much as far as projects I'm going to be doing, so just really not that much to film. And trust me, I'm kind of going stir crazy here, and it's driving me nuts because honestly, the weather's been pretty decent. We still don't have snow on the ground. Had just multiple days of highs in the in the 50s, even low 60s. Perfect weather to be doing work outside and getting things done. But just with the money that I have set aside for what I'm going to do with the log cabin, that's tied up in CDs right now, so I can't get at it anyway. So it'll be available by the time spring rolls around next year, but not right now. So I'm just kind of stuck here twiddling my fingers, and it's yeah, it's hard to deal with because I want to be doing something. I'm out here by myself, so I don't have anything else to do to occupy my time. So yeah, when you are just sitting around or doing the most mundane things, like clean out the chicken coop, and well, I'm going to get to that in a minute. I will make one note. uh, I got, well, this is some of the firewood I picked up 2 cords to go with what I already had in the barn, and this is only part of it. The rest of it I've stacked in there with the other 2 piles that I have, and I'm disappointed. I've burned a few fires so far, and this is a mix. Last year I got it from the same guy, but last year it was all pine, ponderosa pine. This year it's a mix of cottonwood, and that stuff, excuse me, that stuff does not, it doesn't burn well, in my opinion. For one thing, I have to put a couple of pine logs in there to get the flame up, and then I can throw a piece of that cottonwood on top of it, and it takes forever to put any kind of flame out. And if the flame that it does put out, it isn't very intense. It's not throwing out that much heat. And it's kind of like I would compare it to coals in your, grill for barbecue and something. Uh, it'll get kind of red hot, but it just doesn't throw out a lot of flame. And yeah, it just kind of seems like a waste of time. I could get that, that section that I closed off, I could get it a lot hotter with just all pine in there, burning at just at a much, what's the word I'm looking for? Well, just, oh boy, I'm sorry, got a sun. Just burning at a more intense fire. So that's, live and learn. I won't be getting cottonwood mix in next time. So yeah, that'll be the end of that. Now on to my issue with the chickens. Hoping somebody can put some suggestions down in the comments, because I'm really playing Russian roulette here. I'll tell you what's been going on, but these little rascals right here, they have not been cooperating at nighttime going into the coop. It's been about, well, over 2 months now that, I mean, they seemed like they were trained perfect, and I figured I'll never have another issue with them. They, I'd when nightfall came, before it was even completely dark, they'd head on into the coop. Then I'd come down at some point after that and shut the door, and know they were completely safe for the night, because nothing's getting inside. There's no openings that anything could get in there one way or the other. So I always, felt safe and not stressed. But that hasn't been the case for about the last 3 weeks. About 3 weeks ago, I'm going to go over here so I can get out of the glare of the sun. But it was about 3 weeks ago I came out here to close them in, close the door, and well, keep the camera pointing forward because I'll show you. You know, this is coming down here like I have been doing for the last 2 months to close them in. And I get about here, and then I look over, and all of them are all, you know, huddled up right here by this tree, just kind of all hanging out, laying down, all huddled together like you would think they would do. Well, if not up on the roosting bars that I've got in there. You know, I've got a lot of hay in there right now, so they can kind of make their little nest in that. Shoot, let me. Okay, so like I was showing you over there, you know, I came down to close the doors, and they were all huddled up outside. And this is, I mean, it's pretty much dark. It's well beyond the time they would normally all have went in there. So I'm like, what in the world is going on with these guys? The 2 months they've been trained, you know, perfect, doing what they were supposed to do. And so I looked on the internet because I was completely puzzled. Well, I'll just say for that night, I just left them out. I'm like, okay, well, I hope you're all alive in the morning, because when I walk these grounds out here, or walk the land, you know, it's quite common to see traces of coyotes. You know, their poops in just about every place I've ever walked around here. So they definitely come around here at nighttime. Never see them in the day. Well, one time last winter, and that's it. But so yeah, I left them outside, and yeah, it was a stressful night for me, because I thought for sure I was gonna wake up next morning and come down there, and they were, if not all of them, most of them, be wiped out. And miracle of miracles, they weren't. And in fact, I have been just leaving the door open to the coop for the last 3 weeks, and I haven't lost any yet. But I don't know what the issue is. I looked online, and one of the things was that said that it could be mites in there. So that next day, when I came down, I pulled all the bedding out, you know, swept any of their droppings out, sprayed some disinfectant in there on the roosting bars, on the floor, everything, and then put new bedding in. And I want to say they stayed out for 2 more nights, and then finally, I you know, when I came out, I noticed they started, some of them, most of them, started going back in. But there's like 3 of them that still insist on, they're, you know, one of the small pine trees that's just off to the side of the coop. They there's 3 of them that are roosting up there every night. And now this, so far, temperatures have been so mild, man. I've just been loving it. You know, I figure now at this point we're almost into December, so I'm like counting December, January, February, 3 months, and then we'll be going into March. So hopefully things start, you know, lightening, you know, warming up slightly, at least warmer average days. But so I'm like, well, 3 months of winter, that you know, hard winter, that won't be too bad. But anyway, yeah, so it's been pretty fairly mild, so I haven't worried about them. I know these chickens are pretty cold hardy and everything. So but I've been leaving the doors open, so if they got uncomfortable, they they could at least get back into the coop, and if they needed to be warmer or whatever, if it started raining or wind was blowing hard, whatever might be making them uncomfortable, they could go in there. And I'd like to say, I was just crossing my fingers that a coyote or a skunk didn't come along and kill them. But so been lucky so far. But so I said, brought up mites. I think one of the other big things was, you know, maybe they were getting bullied by one of the other chickens or a couple of the other chickens ganging up on a chicken. But like I say, it's 3 of them. And I can't see any evidence. Like I know in the, when it was describing it, they were talking about, you know, do you see any of your chickens that have missing feathers, like they've been pecked at and all that? And I don't see any evidence of that. I mean, the one bad thing about having all this one breed of Buff Orpingtons is that they're hard to tell the difference. I mean, the hens, other than a few of them, their size difference, they all look so identical. I can't tell the difference. So it's like even the 3 that are roosting outside up in the tree at night, I can't tell you which 3 those are when they're all together here. And so, but even if I did know which 3 it was, I would hesitate to just put them into the coop against their will, because I don't know what's going on in there. Which, as I say that right now, I wish I kind of had a camera that I could put in there and see if anybody's picking on anybody. But again, that would be hard to. I guess this little hen wants to say hello. I think it's kind of neat. The hens will jump up here on my lap and everything, but only problem is sometimes they leave me a little present, which I don't like. So I kind of put a stop to it for the most part. But anyway, so yeah, I don't know if it, like I say, I don't see any evidence of being picked on. No one's missing any feathers or anything like that. So I don't know what the answer is. Now like I said, it's been mild, but we are about to head into some seriously cold weather here pretty soon. What is it? Next Saturday, the low's going to be 8 degrees, and high's only going to be 29. So I don't know if the chickens that have been roosting outside, if they'll take it upon themselves to go inside, and if they do, I don't know what's going to happen to them. But I am going to have to start closing the door at some point when it's getting cold. I'm not going to let all of them freeze just because a few of them refuse to go inside. I've got one of those automatic chicken doors on order. I think I'm going to get it somewhere around the 1st of December, or maybe here right towards the end of the month. But so I'll be putting that on, and I'll just set it, you know, to like maybe a half hour before. I know they like to get out, at least while there's no snow on the ground. They get an earlier start than I do. I tried to make sure I got down and let them out. When I was closing them up inside, I would get down there by 7:30-ish and let them out so they could, you know, start doing their little chicken deals. But um, I'll just, yeah, set it somewheres. They get an early start, and the roosters are starting. Kind of funny. They testing out their crowing and everything, and it's pretty pathetic. But they're getting there. It's sounding better and better little by little. But yeah, I'll get them out. I'll set that timer to where it, you know, maybe around 6:30, and then I will set it to close whatever. I'd say it's dark around here by, I don't know if it's 5:30, somewhere's around there, completely dark. Sunset's around 4:30, and then it's probably completely dark by 5:30. So 5:30 or 6, I'll have it closed. And if they're all in there, great. But if we get these 3 stubborn ones that want to roost up in a tree outside, then I guess they're either going to live or they're going to die. I don't know. Like I say, they're going to experience some really cold weather before I get the door and put it on. So maybe that 8-degree weather will make them decide that it's better to be inside and maybe get picked on a little bit. Yeah, but I wanted to put this out because it's been 3 weeks and I've really been rolling the dice. I'm not amazed, or I am amazed that I have not lost any chickens yet. So, but I know that my luck's going to run out sooner or later if I don't get these guys all locked up and safe and sound inside the coop. So if anybody has any suggestions, I would really appreciate it because I'm at a loss. I mean, like I say, I cleaned the coop out. I've honestly, the space right below the the roosting bars, I moved I don't put hay there now. And when I first, well, before I did put any bedding in there, you know how you can get those tarps, like Harbor Freight. I got some of those tarps. So I put a tarp down over the actual floor. And then when they, you know, perch up there and leave their droppings in the morning, uh, it's cold enough, thank goodness, that they kind of, you know, freeze up or harden up so they aren't messy and everything. I can just take a broom and a dustpan, sweep that stuff up and get it out of there, and then give it another shot with some disinfectant. So I don't think it's mites at all. I think there must be some bullying issue, and I'm not sure how to get around that. Like I say, I don't know who's bullying who. Must not be too bad because, like I say, no one's got any bare spots on them, you know, from losing a lot of feathers. I sit out here quite a bit with them over the last couple of weeks because I've just tried to enjoy the last bit of the nice weather before the snow comes in and the wind's blowing and it's minus whatever degrees. So so I watch them, and yeah, you see whether it's a rooster messing with a hen or 2 roosters kind of facing off, because I have 3 of them. Uh, it's just a quick little, you know, go at each other, and then one of them will walk away. It's nothing major, so I I can't see them being so traumatized they want to spend the whole night outside up in a tree like that. But yeah, I'm kind of repeating myself here. So anyway, yeah, if you guys, any of you have had chickens before and experienced an issue where, you know, they were going into the coop, no problem for months on end, and then suddenly, uh, and I got to say that what, going to keep this thing going, even though I said I want to shut it off, but I just want to make this point. On that first night that I knew I had a problem, they were all out here by that tree. It wasn't like just 3 of them. So I thought, well, maybe they were afraid of something in there. Now we don't have big rats here. I know when I was in Florida, I saw a few rats that probably from head to tail were maybe a foot long, and their bodies were pretty thick, you know, every bit as big as a squirrel or possibly a little bigger. But all we have around here are those very small little mice. So I don't think these guys would be afraid of that if they're getting in. In fact, one day when I was watching them, a squirrel came running out. You know, he's running across a field there, and one of the roosters actually went towards him, and the squirrel turned around and ran back up a tree. So I don't think they're afraid of any rodents that may have found their way in there. And again, as far as the whole bullying issue, well, if that was the case, why did all of them that first night? And I think for about the first two or three nights, they all stayed outside. Now it's to the point where all of them are going in, but three. So again, that kind of makes me not think it was really a bullying issue. Uh, as far as any mites, I've cleaned that thing out. I don't think that's an issue. So I'm at a total loss. So if you guys, I'm sorry about the glare. I'm going to cut it off here, but uh, so if anybody has any advice that they can tell me, give me something to try, I would appreciate it. And hopefully I don't lose a whole bunch of chickens here real soon. So hope you guys are doing okay. I know it's I tell you what, the news has been real depressing lately. I just again, because I'm watching, I know I'm watching too much of it because I'm, just really not having that many more anything to do around here but clean their coop and feed the chickens, and that's pretty much it. So I've been watching too much news, and it's just, yeah, if you aren't depressed, you're getting angry as all get out. So you guys take care, and well, I guess Thanksgiving's coming up here in a few days, so you guys have a happy Thanksgiving, and I will see you later.